Okay, so I thought I'd make a quick video on how to wire this thing up. You can get this wire, let's see, this one's not really showing it. Alright, so this is the pigtail off the RSX. So this wire right here is 18 gauge. It's 18 gauge stranded, so it's just copper. A lot of stuff they sell online is tin. So you can just go to Walmart and get a roll of, I think, Start. Like for a couple bucks, that's 18 gauge. This wire right here is 20 gauge if you can find it and stranded. The only ones I found were 10, so I just ended up using just a 18 gauge wire on it. You could use 20 on it because that's originally it's thinner. There's kind of a problem here though, is these wires, before you wire it, they have to be traced. So you have to, when you pop this up and you see the thicker wires right here, the thicker wires, these two, you know, go to the fuel pump. This one right here is yellow with a blue stripe, and that's your basically your positive wire that's going to go to the relay to the fuel pump. This is your ground. This is to the fuel gauge. What happened to me was I separated these wires from the harness, and then one of my nephews came over that's about 5 or 6, and he started playing in here and tearing stuff up, and I got these wires mixed up. And the problem with getting these wires mixed up, these black wires, is they're exactly the same. You can't tell them apart. So what I had to do is you have to put the ECU in the car and you have to turn the ignition on. And the way you can tell which of these wires is which is you have to hook basically everything up. And the thinner wires right here, the ones that go to the sending unit, the fuel gauge on the car, that will read basically battery voltage, so about 12 volts all the time. This one right here will only create voltage for when the key's turned on for 2 seconds, so you'll get like a blip of like 30 volts and then it'll start dropping from there. But that's how you can tell these wires apart. It's basically you have to guess and check that way. But for me it became a nightmare because he was playing in here and I had no idea which wire was which. So what I would recommend doing is just doing these one at a time. That way you know which is which. So how you wire this from here is this, wait, where is it? It's hard to see from my camera angle. So the yellow wire with the blue stripe to the fuel pump, that's going to connect to the orange wire on the CRZ. And then you got your ground right here, so you're just going to have to trace this back. Then for this wire right here, which is the fuel sending unit or the fuel gauge, is a yellow wire with a black stripe, and it's thinner than the fuel pump wire. So this is like a 20 gauge, that's like a 18. This right here goes to the brown wire on the CRZ, and then this one goes to the black wire, which is the ground wire on the fuel sending unit. So it's pretty easy to wire. It's not difficult at all. But that's pretty much it for this video on how to wire this. I'm just trying to do a step-by-step in detail on how I'm doing everything for the gas tank, basically. So the fuel tank, I'm just really focused on that.